Shalom. This is Following Yahshua, and welcome again to The Rock. Time is running out, and the time to play games with your life is running out. I hope you took some of the advice from many of the people that have been posting on this forum, this medium called YouTube, and got yourself some food storage, made some plans. This time is running out. They are now talking about this zombie plague having basically a shutdown 2.0. Because, they have to get out in front of this thing. And in that, people are going to suffer once again because people ignored the first shutdown and they did not take the advice of getting themselves ready. But this one could also be a little bit different because this one's not going to be taking place in the middle of, late winter, or, when we really began to see the ramifications of it. It was already spring and then summer. We're going into a time where not much food's going to be harvested because we're coming into the winter. Prices could go up even further. There could really be some severe and serious struggling. And I know it's not popular. I know we'd rather talk about, who won the NBA championship and who's going to win the World Series. I know that's what we're used to talking about. Well, society's used to talking about. But right now, we need to talk about some real things because real things are happening in this world. We have the election coming up. It's almost like the perfect storm. The election's coming up, and then we have the shutdowns, and how is that going to work when you've got the possibility of people contesting and not wanting to agree with the election results, while at the same time there are shutdowns. We've had and been granted ample time. It just reminds me of the story of Yosef again, where in the story of Yosef, there was 7 years of plenty. In this time, people have been able to leave their homes and go to the grocery stores and go pick up what they wanted to, and now they're putting the idea out there of the possible need for a shutdown again. If you do not have food, go get some. If you do not have protection, you may not have the opportunity to, but I know some things you can go get. You can still go get yourself a 12 gauge. I know that I believe the Walmarts still are selling those, Stevenson's 12 gauge, or those, the 4 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, 12 gauge that you can buy for $189. You can still buy the birdshot from, the shelves. You can still get in many places your 22 rifles, your Remington, or your Savages, or your Marlins, or in some cases your Ruger 1022s. You can still find those things. And sure, could you go out and get a 9mm? Absolutely. The problem is where you're going to find the ammo. And many people are not in a place right now where they can, drop $350 for 1,000 rounds of ammunition, the 9mm. So we're at a point right now where we're past all the bull crap. Time's getting serious. Life is getting serious. We're at a time now where most people have been playing checkers with their life, and you're at a time where you're going to have to play chess. And if you don't know how to play chess because you didn't prepare and get yourself ready for the game, then you're in trouble. As much as we would like to, closing our eyes and pretending things didn't happen and don't exist doesn't change it. Again, it doesn't matter how many arguments you make about this thing, this zombie plague is real or it's not real. The ramifications, the consequences, the shutdowns, the destroying of the financial system, the destruction of fiat currency, I mean, it was always destroyed. Those things are real. Inflation, that is real. Starvation is real. Crime rising, which is doing right now, that's real. And if you haven't made plans for this, then you might just get swallowed up with that little snowball that is now a big snowball that kept going downhill and gathering speed and gathering power. And now it can't be stopped. You can't stop what is coming. You can only, as I said before, get out of its way. It is not worth playing with your family's life, playing with your life, men. Playing with your wives' lives, or lives. Playing with your children's lives. Because it's too late when you're in the middle of the game to decide that you don't want to play the game anymore. I want to get serious now. It's too late. It's too late to want to get serious if Shutdown 2.0 comes. If riots stem from these election results. It's too late to try and go get food when they're not letting you into the stores, or when the store shelves aren't full and they're putting a mandatory one item or one bag of rice per customer again. It's too late. And I know we're not used to that way of thinking. I know normalcy bias is the way to go. I know, but that's not how I want to do things. And for those that are preparing for the time that are coming, that's not how they want to live. The idea of just living it is a very serious idea. The Bible tells us that not just these times, but worse times are going to be coming. And if you've been in deep prayer and deep study in this word, then Yah would have already presented a way for you to go. He would have already shown you that it was our ancient ways. I'm not talking about you have to have, tons and tons of food stored up, but it was our ancient ways as Israel to have food stored up, to come out of the city, to get into our agricultural roots, to grow food, to process food, to harvest food, to be self-sufficient, to stop being reliant on systems that the world has set up for us to assimilate into those systems. We were doing a study here about the word assimilate, and the word assimilate, one of the definitions was to understand the ideas, norms, and customs of any given society. And it's a shame that many who call themselves Israel understand the norms and the ideas and the customs of every place and of every different group of people and of every country, but what the Bible presents. A simple way of living. The old paths, which we were told to seek after, but we said we wouldn't. These old paths are much more beneficial and would greatly prevent you from suffering in times like these. Hate not husbandry, which the Most High, hate not laborious work and husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained. He ordained it. So now people are put in a position again where there could be some extreme suffering once again, because we saw the first shutdown and now the second one's coming. Looks like it could be coming, and people are running around still. And for those of you who were part of this channel, you heard it was mentioned before. If there's a second shutdown and they don't send stimulus checks out, people are going to be extremely hurting because people don't even have the money to go and buy food anymore. I hope for those that had the ears to hear, I hope for those that move. One of the things that I've learned a lot in my life and being on this earth is you've got to learn from mistakes, and you have to have your eyes open, and you have to see really what is happening. You have to ask the Most High to open up your eyes so that you can take the moves that you need to make. Storing food was one of those moves. It was one of those moves years ago, decades ago. It was one of those moves a decade ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and that was the move you should have been making as soon as they started opening up and you were able to go to and fro again. I hope you made those moves. I hope you stored food. I hope you have a means to protect yourself. I hope you are at least proficient in simple, first aid 1. I hope you know how to cook on an open fire, because we don't know if it may come to that. If the riots get bad, and I'm not saying they're going to, but if the riots get bad in some of these metropolitan areas, what if they in some way or another affect the power grid? I'm only presenting these ideas so that we can keep our eyes open. Do I know what's going to happen? No. But I know this. The first time it caught many people off guard. This second time there's a shutdown should not catch any. And I'm specifically speaking about us in this faith. It should not catch any of us off guard. We've spoken on women getting covered. We've spoken on making moves and coming out. So nobody should be caught off guard in this time. But the sad fact is, so many are going to still be caught off guard. Make the moves. And if you can't make the moves now, do what you can. Figure out a way that you can live where you don't have to leave your house or apartment or whatever. Do as best as you can. Because this is starting to look like more and more, it's just going to become more and more serious, and more people are going to be hurt. And more people are going to find out that Yah was trying to tell you a while ago to get yourself ready, to be prudent, foresee the evil, hide yourself. Because the normal way that you had of living, it's not coming back. Bless y'all. Shalom.